Sonoran Desert in Arizona, and I just pulled up, made a quick dinner, and I'm gonna get to bed here pretty soon. But I'm out here to photograph some Saguaro cactus, and that's gonna be my focus for the next couple days. It's about 1 o'clock. I spent the better part of the day driving around, scouting out different areas, and I was basically just looking for hills to climb up to get a higher vantage point. So the one behind me is actually my favorite. I found that the most dense population of saguaros is in this area, and also the sun is setting back over here this evening, and I'm looking this way. So I think for light, and I think for saguaro density, and I think general ease of location too. The fact that this is actually a campsite that I'm parked at, and the hill behind me is right there. So that was definitely a big bonus too. So I haven't really eaten yet today, so I'm gonna stop and make some lunch. I think I'm gonna have I got a couple more burger patties in the fridge here, so I'm gonna make those and take my camera up there, set that up, and see if I can find a good composition. That lunch really hit the spot. Now I'm packing up some film. On this trip I brought Portra 160 and Kodak Ektar 100. I'm gonna bring both up. I actually have a photograph of a saguaro that I really like, and that was shot on Portra. So I know Portra does really well with accurate colors, as far as the greens and the sky look perfect. So I'm definitely gonna expose a sheet of Portra 160 if I do expose anything tonight. But I'm also gonna try some Ektar just to see the variation. It's about, I'd say 3 o'clock, so I got a couple hours left before sunset. I like to get up here early and just work on the composition. Don't want to be in a rush. So for this shot, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a longer lens. What you're seeing in your frame are these two cactus left and right. That's actually not in my frame. I'm past that. So I'm kind of, I'm pretty tight on the mountain in the back, but mainly it's about that valley of the Saguaro cactus there. So I'm thinking 450, and hopefully it's not the 600 to 800 millimeter that's back at the truck. But if it is, I'll be hiking back. The 450 looks pretty good. It's almost there, but I kind of want to see what it looks like with the 600. So I'm going to take a hike back to the truck and grab that big old box. Oh, now you see why I don't bring it. Never learned my lesson. Alright, here's the 600. Big boy. What I love about it, really sharp. Like, really sharp. And another thing I love about it is it's telephoto. So that means that I don't have as much bellows draw when I focus this lens. And that can be a bad thing if you're shooting in any sort of wind or just general stability of the camera. You know, when it's extended out, it's not as stable. So telephoto design is the way to go. The downfall is it's huge. So there's always drawbacks to everything, I guess. Overall, that looks pretty good. In general, you know, with 8x10, you can crop in a bunch and still have plenty of film area. So I typically will shoot, if I'm unsure like this, I'll typically shoot on the wider lens just because I can always crop it in, but you can't crop it out. So I'm just going to play around with the 600, but I think I'm going to end up using the 450. I'm going to take a good look at this real quick and decide from there. Alright, I got my shot all framed up. I was just up the hill about 30 feet behind you, and I decided to come further down. There was a few distracting foreground elements, and I'm just trying to avoid those. So I found a nice little spot here, and I smell smoke in the air. So I've seen a couple planes fly really low right by this area, and I'm definitely seeing a haze build up into the valley. I can almost see, I can't tell if that's a actual cloud or smoke, but I can definitely smell it. So as it's sort of wafting into the valley, I don't know how I feel about that. But the shot is pretty straightforward. It's just a mountain right in the center. The horizon is about 3/4 of the way up, and then you just get an expanse of the Saguaros, which is exactly what I was going for. I think sometimes the simple compositions are the best. You know, you don't have too much going on. It's just all about the subject here. So I think I'm all ready to go. My only concern is the smoke at this point. And it has been such a nice day out here. I mean, the weather is perfect. It's like 75 degrees. Last night it was probably 45, and it's the middle of winter. It's February. So definitely picked a good time to come out here. I also read that if you come out in like mid-March, it's kind of wildflower season over here. So I may come back. It'd be nice to get something like an intimate shot or something. But overall, it's pretty awesome over here, and there is not a soul around. Okay, now that light is starting to turn real golden. It's probably got another 2 minutes before it drops down behind that peak. There are some high clouds kind of obscuring it a little bit. I think this light is just a bit too contrasty for what I'm going for. So I'm just going to hold off and wait. It's interesting. Now it's that last bit of light just hitting the middle portion. I think that kind of looks interesting. I fear it'd be a little bit too contrasty though, so I'm gonna hold off. You probably can't tell on the camera, but it definitely softened up just a bit now. Yeah. I'm gonna take an exposure. So f45, 4 seconds, which turns into 6 seconds after reciprocity. And this is on Hectare 100. Okay, that was pretty neat. Like a nice shaft of light right through the center of the frame there. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, this is going to be a 30-second exposure on Portra 160. Okay, 30 seconds. Here we go. All right, that's a wrap.